what's your role here as far as day to day, and then how you interact with agents, both new and experienced?
Yeah. Being a designated broker, I am responsible, and that's kind of difficult sometimes. So I audit contracts a lot. I'm looking at, when people put deals together, they have to turn them in. I'm making sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Everything's legit and mostly legal, that type of thing. Mostly, I say, because we like to write our own language a lot in contracts. But that's kind of my day-to-day role. And then coming up with ideas on development. As I mentioned just a bit ago, I love teaching and developing and things like that. And so it's coming up with relevant and current classes and relevant and current content that we can talk with our brokers about and adapt to this changing market. As many of you know, our market has completely shifted. And so it's coming up with kind of going back to the old school, like what we did before the market shifted. We focused a lot on good habits, practices, things like that. But then encouraging people to work together. And if something's working very well, we have a very collaborative group. As you can see at Island Time here with Greg, it's very collaborative in this office. And so if something's working good for somebody, they like to come and share it and hopefully invite others to try it as well.
And that usually happens right around here.
Yep,
yeah.
Sure does. Yep.
Just to give you a little kudos, we've been open as an office for just over 3 years. We opened March 1st of 2019, and we've assumed all along when new offices open, we assume that we're going to be audited at some point to make sure that we're doing everything that fits with the Washington State DOR and the DOL and all the different places, entities that make sure that we function as intended. And so it took a little bit longer for it to happen than I think we all expected.
I think COVID probably slowed it down like everything else.
So probably 3 months ago or so, we were contacted by the DOR, right?
Actually, it's DOL.
It was DOL. It was DOL.
DOL. I just got a phone call, and a gentleman introduced himself, very nice guy from the Department of Licensing, letting us know that we were being audited. I had been through audits in the past, kind of on the sidelines, helping out, but now the spotlight was right on me, magnifying glass was right on me. So I might get some of the details wrong, but they randomly picked 10 specific transactions from our history and said, present these transactions to us. And for those of you that don't know, you guys buy and sell houses, and you sign anywhere between a 14 and 35 page contract. We encourage you always to read every word. That doesn't always happen, but after those contracts happen, there's lots that goes on in the background. We are required to maintain a dialogue record of all communication that we have with our buyers and sellers. Whether that's text messages or emails, we're required to maintain that. And so one of the things that we have to do is we have to upload all of that into every one of the transactions is kept online somewhere. The program we use is called Brokerment. You don't care. But in that program, we have all the pages of your contract, all our dialogue, communication, all that kind of stuff. And so Matt had to present 10 full transactions, which is a lot of data, to this auditor. And champion Matt, 100%. And so to pass an audit like that, first time, the auditor didn't say, come back to me with this, you need to prove this. First time, 100%. So this just speaks volumes to the focus and the attention to detail that Matt has for things inside our office. Yeah, thank you.
It is really, it did not go unnoticed. That's a huge deal. And so having that sort of backing within the office when agents come to you with questions about contracts, we are so confident in the ability that you have shown that contracts are going to be done right. The help that you give to agents on a daily basis, the advice and corrections that you give to us on a daily basis has been amazing. And
well, thank you.
Yeah. How did you learn all of this?
I would have never thought in school.
Matt, you would have made an amazing insurance salesperson, by the way. I know. I've done both.
Thank you. No, I would have never realized that I would take a passion and such a liking to contracts and legalities and how they work and that whole process. But the more I've worked this position and the deeper we dive, I mean, there's so many different pieces in a contract, and so that is interested me, and I've carried that through in the job. So it's fun. Every day I learn.
So, awesome. Question: Do you still do transactions too? Like, do you help buyers
Yeah.
and stuff? So when you write a contract, who reviews that?
So that's a great question. It's reviewed by me. I had to review my own contract. I would certainly lean on Nicole because she could see things that I certainly couldn't in a contract. But interestingly enough, it is self-audited in that case. And I only do a couple. I mean, very close friends and family. I might do a few transactions a year, but my primary focus is the growth and support of the office.
Yeah.
I can tell you, as I guess people don't know, I'm a real estate agent too. So there's so much value in knowing that, having that backstop, right? Like, I mean, I do my best to make sure everything is good, but just knowing that there's a backstop.
Absolutely.
If I miss something, if something is not 100% correct, like someone like Matt's gonna be able to catch that. Like, that means a lot.
It's huge because we don't, as many of the viewers of this would know, I've only been involved in this for 4.5 years. My background is not in contracts. I'm not good at that aspect of this.
Right.
I do fine, but my bread and butter is the personal relationships and the talking to people and negotiating and things like that. And knowing that I don't have to focus on the contract side of things, that Matt has the oversight on that is a huge thing. I think all of the agents in here realize
And I've
that.
I've worked with brokers that are 2 months or 2 weeks into this, writing an offer. I've worked with some brokers who have been doing this far longer than I have, and it just becomes a second set of eyes. It's not uncommon for me to get a phone call that says, hey, could you jump into this transaction, get a second set of eyes on this and see if I'm missing anything? Or we strategize together. We talk about like interest rate buy downs right now is a common thing rather than just reducing purchase price. So we talk about strategy.